dream come true for you?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Oh, sir. How we doing? Manchester United 0, Newcastle 1. It was absolute domination at St. James Park. 2 years running. Not that dissimilar from when we got trounced 2-0 last year after the EFL final. Another game where the scoreline actually did United justice. This one especially. We just got played off the park for the first 80 minutes of the game. Showed I don't know. Nothing in the last 10 minutes. I mean, better than the first 80, but either way, it was a sad performance. Sad performance mainly because there are so few positives and because they just once again, just like last year in that 2-0 loss, they won every 50-50 ball. They won every jump ball. They won everything where it came to physicality. We just got absolutely owned, and the players look like a bunch of overpaid baby bees, sir. Feeling bad, feeling rough at the moment. How you feeling?
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half.
Couldn't do diddly poo, sir. I think that was the best way to think of this match. Look, the frustrations ringing around. I feel we're kind of maybe the Everton where they out-XG'd us and we got 3 points away. That was kind of give us a little hope. The 3-3 Galatasaray, and then now we're kind of really hitting reality. This is Newcastle United. Look, they're punching above their weight. They are. Eddie Howe's got them playing well. We beat them last season, but this Manchester United's a different Manchester United than last season. Look, we were soft noodle, like you said, when we went to Newcastle last season. We got beat, but we had some resilience to fight back and get top four. It was more bend, don't break last season. We got them in the final. This is a different United. Hasn't been right since the start. Obviously, we know the history of what's been going on. Sancho got the boot. Now it seems like Varane's on the outs. Casemiro's injured. Something's going on. The players not putting forth simple effort. It looks like a collection of individuals to me. I look at this team. We got talent. We should be able to go toe-to-toe with Newcastle. If we were enjoying our football, if we were up for it, if there wasn't external drama or whatever, I have no idea, not pointing any fingers. It seems to me something's off. We're not enjoying our game at the moment. It looks like it's really tough for this team. It's heavy on the keeper. It's heavy on all the players. Look, it's heavy on Bruno out there, the captain. We don't look like we're having fun. Newcastle, on the other hand, they got young kids coming out of nowhere. They look like they're having a ball. They look like they're busting their ass. They're ready to go. They're enjoying their football. And this is just, we feel like we have a rain cloud over us wherever we go. I don't know why that is the case, but we look like a different side this season compared to last.
No, we do. I mean, even talking about our run of form over the last 4 weeks, right? We had a good November in the league. We picked up some wins, but they were against poor teams, and a lot of them were against the run of play. We had a handful of good performances, but by and large, we got away with some. And now we're heading into December. Newcastle's a very good side, especially at home, and they blasted us off the park, bro. I mean, the thing that makes me the most disappointed is the lack of effort, the lack of physicality, some of the big names, right? The Martial, he's not a big name, but Rashford, he just looked like he was hanging his head, didn't care that much. And that has been a repeating theme before Erik ten Hag, during Rangnick, during Ole. And, to be fair, a lot of this 11 started under Rangnick and Ole. But either way, it's on the manager, and some things just don't make sense to me. It's like, what the hell is going on with Varane? The players that were huge under this manager last year that propelled us into the heights that we saw, right? Those big wins against the Cities, against the Barcelonas, against the Arsenals. Obviously, Casemiro's injured. Martinez is injured, but where the hell's Varane? Him and Martinez were terrific. You have to have a role for Varane. Shaw comes in. He played a decent job, but I think he's wasted at center back when you really need him linking up on the left with whoever's playing there, whether it's Rashford or Garnacho. And we had no options. And the fact that there was no subs made at halftime was shocking because we were a little bit better after the first wave of subs. We were better after the second wave of subs, but you have to, we were dominant. I haven't seen us dominate in a half of football like that since what, a month ago when we played City? I don't know. But it's tough being a Manchester United fan these days.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's like I said, it feels like there's a rain cloud following us. It's utter just. Sir, it's depressed. It's depressing. It really is. It's sad. It's sad what this team has become. We had a little glimmer of hope last year. It feels like everything that worked last year is broken this year, and everything we brought in to try to fix what was broken last year isn't working. That'd be Onana, the keeper. The other moves that we made in this team, even the signing a number 9 where we're dying for goals, and he's a youngster who's going to need years to get up to speed. That's not what we needed if we wanted to try to win now. I feel like we've had 1 foot in the rebuild, 1 foot in trying to win now, overpaying in the transfer market. Rashford, big deal after 1 season, and then now we're starting to see just absolute wet noodling. It's all over the board, and it's a mess. And this club is going to be a mess, and we hope Ratcliffe can bring in some legit ownership who can sort out that mess. But right now, unfortunately for us, we hope that we could get a big win away in Galatasaray. We hope that we could maybe show some fight away at Newcastle. If we lost 1-0 and it was a tight game and we showed some fight and we had some quality going forward, no one's going to get the lads down. But losing second balls over and over again, getting outworked by players, I don't even know their names, and they're just dominating this team. We have more talent than them. We have a serious roster, but it's a collection of individuals. We're not playing well as a team. We're not organized. The manager gets the tactics wrong. The 11 doesn't make sense. It just looks like it's going to be backpedaling continuously until a giant explosion. To me, I have the fear of just that big Anfield away loss or some embarrassing game that could happen. And it's just looming in the distance because we look like we're sleepwalking into something, spits and starts, but nothing else.
And it could be today. Honestly, if it wasn't for the good play of Maguire and Shaw, we probably would have lost 3-4-0 easy.
Yep.
I mean, they fucking annihilated us on XG, especially in the first half. It was embarrassing. I haven't seen us just peppered like that with the inability to play out the back or even just get the ball forward. It's this whole McTominay in midfield experiment. It's helpful sometimes when he scores goals, but we have an inability to play out from the back and connect the defense to the attack. And at the same time, it's just the lever of effort. It's sure, manager is totally to blame. I agree. He's making all kinds of crazy calls, and his signings this year have been by and large a bust thus far. But the most shocking thing is the level of effort. Holy shit. The fact that the players can't run around for 90 minutes and they got muscled off the ball all day, every day by this Newcastle side, who, like you said, it's they got injuries too. And they got these players playing I ain't never heard of. And they all run into every tackle. They won every 50-50 ball today. Every single one. Over 100 minutes of football. And they basically just I don't know if it's field tilt or whatever the stat is for measuring who wins the most 50-50s, but they won every fucking 50-50. And that's why if you do that in a game, what did Mourinho say? You know how a game's going to go in the first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes of this game, you knew we had no chance. No chance.
Sir, I'm speechless. I'm without speech.
No excuses. I'm just blasting them like you usually do. Blast them.
Hey, they deserve it. Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils and you want that Muppet take, we don't have any sponsors on the podcast. It's just me and Alex doing it for the love of the game. We're over 500 episodes in, if you could believe it. Only one trophy along the way. Support us. We're completely fan-backed. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Tons of benefits. Please check it out. Also, check out our store, americadevils.store. Scarves, hoodies, shirts, stickers, you name it. americadevils.store. Please check that out. Everything you buy supports us again directly. Help us keep the lights on. The wives might want to shut us down, sir. So, we need you to go out and buy a scarf. Keep the lights on here at the pod. americadevils.com for all your blog, fan-generated blog content as well. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews are a great way to support the pod without spending any money at all. They help us get found by other top Muppets like yourself, and they're great ways to support the pod. Even better, we're giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to americadevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free ARD scarf. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one from Sammy D. Great United show, great source of United news and discussion. They even give history lessons on the club and our opponents. Mandatory listen for any red. Thank you, Sammy. And thank you all the masochists who came out to just listen to another America Red Devil pod where we just...
I feel like we're stuck in this.
We're stuck in the mud, bro. I'm face down in the mud.
I mean, like we had the EFL final was like great. It was like a trophy, but like then like last season was kind of like the finish for top four was not really convincing. We got it, but it was very kind of like and then maybe that was a precursor. But if you look at the form since we won the EFL Cup, we were like a different team. We had like a good half of it last year. And man, it's been this has been a wild ride. I only thing that comes to mind is Rangnick. It feels like we're in Rangnick territory, not even Ole territory. Ole territory, you were just like getting put in the woodshed, being like, make it stop. Rangnick was just like the Walking Dead, like no hope. Players not playing, kind of winning some games, losing to Crystal Palace, like don't care. Like it just felt like no one cared. It felt like the players didn't want to be there. There's a whole nother disconnection. To the squad. It feels like we're heading down that road, sir. Oh my God. What a day to be a United fan. What a day. We're talking Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. Can't believe that scoreline. St. Jesus Park. Let's get to it. Onana, Delo, Luke Shaw, Magoo, Wan-Bissaka. What kind of backline is that? Mainu, McTominay, Garnacho, Fernandez, Rashford, and Martial up top. How are we feeling?
Question marks, right? Like, if he played well, they could have gotten a result. But Martial up front over Højlund, you notice the lack of pressing from the minute one, right? That boy just likes to jog now. And Delo instead of Shaw on the left back and having, Rafael Varane play at center back just didn't make any sense to me. It wasn't too shocking that you're going to see the whole Mainu, Bruno sauce midfield, but I was concerned it wasn't going to work because we weren't going to be able to link up play, and we weren't able to link up play. So what did you think of this 11 when you saw it?
Again, look, here's the deal. You're down our injuries are not like we're down a lot of players, right? We don't have a lot of players in form. We're not playing well, and then you're also trying to account for like the spite benches from the manager. It's like at a certain point, the manager just has to get Varane in there. You know what I'm saying? Like football usually dry. Like Sir Alex would often like be down on a player, but then have to use them, right? And Erik ten Hag is so stubborn, where no matter what, he's gonna ride the ship down. And never give an inch. And like that's the vibe I get with this Varane thing, because clearly in this game, like I think it would have been better to have Luke Shaw on the left wing with Garnacho and have a chance going forward. And then when you see it in person, you're like, okay, fine. He'll show up stubborn. He'll put the team out there. And then after getting like whack-a-mole in the first half, barely squeaking by without conceding, he doesn't change it.
Unbelievable. And
so that's kind of where I have. It's just like there's a little spite and stubbornness that it shows through one or two players every week. We're seeing this lineup, including away at Copenhagen. But sir, let's get into that match. First half, United dominated from the first minute. Best chance of the match. Bruno finds Garnacho, but he takes a touch. His shot has no power. I thought this was a good sign on the break.
Yep.
Didn't see this materialize much after that. 17th minute, Onana with a big save to keep United level. 20th, Maguire with a big block. 39th, Trippier hits the underside of the bar, stepping up for the free kick after Onana's midweek shenanigans. I was nervous about this one. This could have gone in. By the hair on our chin, sir, we're getting into the halftime 0-0. How are you feeling? What were you thinking? Should the manager have made an adjustment?
Yes. The manager should have made. We got dominated. We had that one chance, the 11th minute, but we couldn't hold on to the ball. I can only imagine what the possession stats were. It might have been 70-30. Amount of touches they had in the final third, and in the opponent's box was 90-10. We just got dominated, played off the pitch, played off the park. You needed to make a change. You needed to make a tactical change. You needed to make a personnel change. Martial was offering nothing. Rashford was offering even less. And I was shocked he didn't make a sub, because I think we would have played better if we made that 61st minute sub at halftime, but he didn't. And that was the most shocking thing probably this whole game, was that we didn't make a sub at halftime.
Exactly. It's getting to the stubbornness part, because like I said on the last podcast, if you're going away to Newcastle, you might want to pack it in and play defensively, right? And then try to hit them bang, bang on the counter with Garnacho and Rashford or some combination of that. But we weren't. We were bombing forward. You're getting McTominay into the box, losing the ball, and then creating these amazing breakaway chances for Newcastle over and over and over again. And you know what? You're playing in this open way, letting Newcastle generate all these chances. And what do we have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. And a lot of that comes from Rashford being out of form and giving the ball away up front. It's just this idea of trying to like get high, press aggressively, get a shot off fast, or go right to play very directly, just lends us to turning the ball over high, getting counterattacked by Newcastle, playing right into their game plan. It doesn't make sense. And so we've seen managers in the past, once you're kind of back against the wall, it's not going well, you defend and then try to pip on the counter. That, to me, was the move here. This is getting back to basics in the league and how you need to manage this stuff. And the fact that we went out and did this in the first half, saw the result of it, and literally made like-for-like changes to tee it up again, made no sense to me.
No, and I've been a big backer of our manager. And this is like what we talk about. This like there's a Dutch thing. There's a Dutch stubbornness that cannot be overlooked. And the fact that he insists on not playing Rafael Varane. I mean, for like not even the other guys. Forget Jadon Sancho, like hanging out in London, like stunting. I'm talking about Varane. Rafael Varane. I know he's injury prone. I know he didn't start the season well, but like Jesus Christ, you have a center back. I know you have the right center back, left center back thing, but you gotta play him. And then this one. Halftime, I had never seen us. We were so lucky to go in even into the second half that like you're getting a second chance at life. You've been gifted, like you're in the game, dude. It's literally an even game, and you don't make a change. So like you said, the game was open. We would counter, and then we just lose the ball because nobody knows how to play link-up play, or they do hero ball. And then you expose yourself on the break like we did in the 55th minute.
A draw away is also a good result here, right? Like, so, like, I don't love it as a United fan, right? But like, if you think about the overall terms of a league going to Newcastle, they're in form. You get a draw, like it's not the end of the world. And we came out wide open, didn't make any adjustment from the first half. And here we go, 55th minute.
Guimaraes, Trippier, and Gordon. The only surprise is it's taken until 10 minutes into the second half. And Tyneside rises en masse to salute what they hope.
I mean, it's just I almost feel bad for the back line. They're defending for their lives, and eventually it's going to happen. We're just getting cut through way too open. I thought we had to make a change in tactics at halftime here. Also comes from pressure playing out the back. Failed there, and then obviously AWB misses the man at the far post, but it's just like, Onana's not playing well. Playing on the back's not going well. We're inviting pressure. We're not changing it, and we're just losing games. It's just like this one. It could have been embarrassing today. Thank God it wasn't. You actually say the glass half full is it was only 1-0.
Yeah, because it could have been 5. It could have been 3-0. It could have been 4-0. It could have been 5-0. And we were lucky to leave with a 1-0 loss. But this is just like endemic of the game today. It was like we have the ball. We just give it right to them. They walk through our midfield. They walk through our midfield all day. And shout out to like the kid. Kobe showed some glimpses. But he's a kid, and he needs to be kind of slowly integrated into the team. And we just got like, dude, they cut through us all day in the midfield and then cut us on the break. And we couldn't play at the back. We had no strategy. And then AWB, he should do much better there. But to be fair, the defense kept us in the game in the first half because they were just peppering.
No, it's the playing out the back that really let us down.
No, it killed us, bro. Because every time we would kick it out, we would just give them the ball back.
That's a tactical decision. It's like, it's not working. We keep going to it. 61st minute double sub Ante and Højlund for Rashford and Martial. Again, too late here. Changing it too late, and then also the like for like is also bizarre because it's just like, at this point, I guess you got to go for it because you're down 1. You can't save the draw, but I didn't like this. And why isn't Højlund starting? Another question there. 80th minute double sub Reguilón on Rabat. Again, Reguilón, where's he been? He can attack the left-hand side. Delo isn't doing a good job there. I felt like he kind of showed that. After the 8th minute, I feel like we kind of thought it was tight. We're like, oh, we can get something here.
Yep.
We kind of spurred forward. 82nd minute, Reguilón, nice shot. Blocked there. And 89th minute, United score. But Maguire got a touch on that. It was offside. So last 10 minutes, Reguilón on Rabat, kind of change it up a little bit. I felt like we kind of had a little spice there, but not enough, not good enough for Manchester United all around. That was it. It was 1-0 for Newcastle. The XG paints a brutal picture. This is 3.06 to Newcastle, 0.38 to Manchester United. 7 players in Newcastle had more XG than I think the entire team of Manchester United.
That's bad.
We haven't beaten a top 8 side away in 2 years.
I thought it was 3 years. I thought it was under Ole.
This is just not, it's not good. And you know what it says about teams? Teams who can't win away are weak. They're weak. Away results in the league, it just shows you everything you need to know. And look, speaking to there's something wrong with this team. There's something wrong with the mentality. We're weak away, you know, like the Rashford up and downs, the Bruno whinging. Look, I like Bruno. He's a great player, but the captain wearing that much emotion on his sleeve, I think the captain has to be the guy when things are back against the wall, they're the hardest. He's the one who's most put together. That's what I would think you would want in a captain. Bruno, he's too emotional for me because it just shows you that this team is emotional up and down during the games. Look, you could talk about the captaincy. Maguire, what was just a dud. There's a totally different look there. But when you think of like Roy Keane, you think of things going against us. The captain is the guy who's got it together. And this team just seems all over the board right now.
And I agree. I think being a captain at Manchester United at the moment is like a death blow. I mean, look at Maguire. Ever since he's been taken away from being a captain, he's been unleashed and playing some of the best football he's played at Manchester United. Bruno, they should almost do him a favor and take it off. I don't even know who.
No, but like Luke Shaw, like someone who's even. You know, somebody. It's just it feels to me that like.
Luke Shaw's probably one of the most even-keeled player on our squad.
The best player usually isn't the captain. You know what I'm saying? Ronaldo wasn't the captain. Rooney was at a certain point. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you have a great player who's like an all-star. He might not be the captain for certain reasons.
Rooney didn't
right?
become it until the end, right? When he chilled out a little bit.
Exactly.
Right? When he was 25,
yes.
he wasn't the captain. But when he was 30,
but like Luke Shaw strikes me of like the temperament of somebody you'd want to be the captain. Always has it together. You could always look to him.
Should start every game.
Exactly.
You know, he should be starting.
I mean, that's also
he should have
part
been
of
a
it
left
too,
back. Like Jesus Christ, that's the thing. Is Reguilon sure? You know, he played well at the beginning of the season. Then he got injured. He came back, looked like a Spurs player. Varane, you have Varane playing the left center back, and then push Luke Shaw, who's one of the best left backs in the league, at left back. I think that would have gone a long way. But we're a mess at the moment. The only thing I can hold on to is like Jesus Christ, Sir Ratcliffe, get in. Get some smart people in place, change up everything. It's going to take time. And we have some young kids like Garnacho, he's a player. Kobe, he's a player. But we need a lot more players because we need players who are going to show some fight. I mean, there's one thing to lose and there's one thing to get dominated. But it's like the way we just like every 50-50 made me cry, bro. It made my soul hurt. It was soul crushing to watch the fucking Toons beat us up at every 50-50. And then when we would counter, they would swarm us. There was 4 of them all over us. And they just look like they're so much harder working. Because they are than United at the moment.
They are more physical, they are more in shape, and they produce more effort than we did. Obviously, it is a home game. You expect them to be up for it, but you know this squad of players, it was sad. It was a sad level of effort, and that is inexcusable ultimately because you'd rather have nobodies who are like giving it a go and like putting it all in, being physical, like, you know, trying to make a game of it, and we just let them walk all over us. 22 shots to our 8, 4 on target to their 1. Like I said, the XG was embarrassing. 59% possession to Newcastle. Look, the quick tactical tear down. The midfield, we absolutely lost the battle. The passes per defensive action was 7.1. Newcastle effectively stifled United's build-up play. We had lower build-up completion rate of 73% against Newcastle's 85.1%. They absolutely dominated. And like I said, the passes per defensive action was very low because they were right up on us. They were pressing us at every step of the game. They actually had a higher defensive line. We were backed up. The field tilt was completely in their direction, like you said, sir. And obviously the data, it all goes to the XG and the field tilt for the Devils in the data. They had 68% of the field tilt, which means 68% of the touches in the final third were Newcastle's.
It felt like that.
Their deep passes and deep connections in the tight areas in the box were like double ours, and we just had nothing doing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, dominated the midfield. put the ball in our third, and it's amazing, and created a ton of opportunities. XG of 3. It was just they were all over us. We're seeing ghosts.
No, I mean, there's almost no positives to take from the 90-minute game because they just they blew us off the park. I mean, they blew us off the park from a playing perspective in terms of like the way they were linking up. Like we looked so fucking rusty and so discombobulated, but they also just they outworked us by 10x and they created like 10. I mean, their XG is almost like 10x. Like they went 3 to our 0.3. So there's not a lot of positives to pull from this. The only positive I can think of is we got another game coming around the hopper, very quick. That's it, bro. That's all I got. It's like we have a way. It can get worse. We can get beat up by an upstart Chelsea who are in 11th place, but they're still Chelsea, and they still have some good players on their team. Or we could get a solid result and then build to the weekend. But, you're only as good as your last game, sir.
All right, let's hear what the manager has to say. So we have not heard the presser. Is this a admit reality, this was a tough game, or is this going to be like a we played well, deny reality? If you had to pick out of the hat, if you're a manager of the EPL, you go to Newcastle, it's only 1-0, right? You can hold on to that. It was tight at the end. We had a chance. Are you playing that card, or are you playing the we weren't good enough card?
We weren't good. I mean, I would play that we weren't, and I would hope
I guarantee he's playing the defense. He's going to defend it. If you're back against the wall, you got to defend it. This is interesting.
You got to own it, bro. I think you have to sure he could have gotten.
But if you're too honest, they come for you.
If I may, he would have got. He got a lot wrong today. But also the players are fucking shambolic and didn't show any effort.
But look at the man. He looks a little sad. It's a
Aren't
still
you sad?
image.
I'm sad.
It's a still image. He looks a little sad
broken.
there.
I feel like I'm broken.
A sad Dutchman.
I bet he does both. I bet he does both.
Turtleneck's
He's got a higher turtleneck.
He's got a high turtleneck.
That beard. I don't know about that beard.
Turtleneck. Yeah, he's kind of getting
Let's see what he says, and then we'll break it down.
I'm just okay. You say admit it was a rough game. I'm going to say deny and say
reality.
we did well. It was a hostile environment, and we had our chances to get something at the end of the game. That's what I would go with if I was a manager.
I mean, we were lucky. We actually
I'm just saying, spin zone. Here we go.
A defeat to end a tough week of away games. What do you say to your players after that?
We had a tough first half, and we said in halftime, okay, we are pleased we are 0-0. We have to stay in the game, but we didn't. But then we had a good comeback in the last part of the game, but that is the fight, what we have to show.
Was it Newcastle's pressure? Did it just get too much?
There are always reasons, but we will talk tomorrow with the team about it. And the rewards are for Newcastle United. We go back, we will talk about this, and then we move on to Wednesday.
You're unable to find a goal tonight. What's the biggest concern for you from the performance?
Well, as I said, I will talk with my team. In the end, we stayed in the game, and we had some good chances by Reguilón. Was a clearance on the line.
All right, sir. I'm going to say this is a deny reality take. What do you say? I think he's kind of trying to not take the L here with this this presser.
Actually, having seen like 60 Eric Ten Hag press conferences, I think this is more like he knows they were fucking terrible, and I don't think he wants to admit to the press how fucking terrible. I think he's not in that level of delusion like a David Moyes 2013-14 delusion. I think he's like, we were absolutely atrocious. We were lucky to be in it. We actually were technically in it at the end and had a chance to tie.
No, I know, but you could tell he's wearing the loss.
No, he
like
has
heavy.
a 1,000-mile stare, bro.
Yes,
he looks
yes,
like
yes,
completely
yes.
like we were fucking awful, and we were lucky to get away with a 1-0 loss. And I don't want to throw all my players under the bus and myself under the bus.
Yes, and I think it's like holding the dam from my perspective, because outside in, it looks like to me, I've been saying it, I said it with the Varane thing. Varane's not playing, that's weird. What's going on? Then the little birds are like, little Varane issue. Obviously, the Sancho issue. Rashford's not playing well. Rashford's boys with Sancho. Not saying that's the reason, but it's more. If you're in a dressing room, it's more than just like, hey, this guy's bad. Everyone agrees. There's always favorites. There's always managers, politics, etc. So something about this team not playing well, not doing well, not enjoying it, and then like the manager kind of giving you that denying, plus he looks like he's wearing it. It looks like he's bluffing a little bit. The Peaky Blinders hat. But let's check in with Paul Scholes.
That's not helping anybody. Also, if you see that performance, bro, you would be dejected as a man. You'd be like, what the dude, that is embarrassing.
Also, you got to see the film. Like, that's like an NFL thing. Like, I got to see the film. Like, bro, I don't, even though it was horrible, he's like, I got to see the film.
I think he's
like,
trying to protect his players. I think that's like, I don't know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but let's see what Scholes rips into him. Let's go.
Let's go. Paul Scholes scores. Scholes.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an excuse. As we said before the game, it is difficult coming back from a Wednesday night game and into, 3 or 4 hour flight. It can be tough, yeah, but I think an extra few hours does give you a little bit of time psychologically to get over that. You had a nice rest this afternoon and you could have been playing. But there's no excuse for the way he played, I don't think. There was never any... Look, if that game was 3 or 4-0 to Newcastle, I don't think we'd be sat here complaining. They never threatened attacking-wise. OK, they had the chance with Garnacho early on, but it wasn't an outstanding chance. Other than that, Harry said they came into the game, they grew into the game. I think I missed that part. But they did. Look, they threw the ball into the box, but I thought Newcastle defended it quite easily. They had the one off the line, I suppose, when Reguilon with the volley, then the offside goal. Other than that, I thought it was just so easy for Newcastle. They made life easy for them. As I say, if it was 3 or 4-0, I think we'd be sat here saying, yeah, fair enough. It was a fair result.
And the only downside for Newcastle is, unfortunately, another injury. Nick Pope, who's been in fine form. We make that.
See, look, Paul Scholes, he doesn't build houses with excuses, sir. You know, that's just, he's cut from a different cloth. He's not buying it. Like he said, the XG said it. We made it too easy. We made it too easy for Newcastle. But, sir, we have a next match. That's why we play the game. That's right. It is the Chelsea Scum. They're coming to Old Trafford Wednesday, December 6th, 12:15 Pacific, 3:15 Eastern. I don't know why there's an extra 15 minutes. Maybe because they're cooking up some pies in the back at Old Trafford, sir. What do you say?
I hope if it's a chicken pie, they cook it a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll get into the news in a little bit, but hey, it's the only positive I can think of. Is like we're playing at home. Chelsea are dangerous. I mean, they showed that against City, but United need a result, and we need a performance, and I don't know, man.
All right, Lifetime versus Chelsea.
The American Red Devil host these days, bro.
We've won 82, drawn 56, lost 55. First time we played them, December 1905. Drew in the second division. Obviously, Chelsea was nobody before. They took all that money from that Russian crook, sir. Last 5, we've drawn 4-1-1. That was the last time we played them in May. We won 4-1. Chelsea coming in, beat Blackburn Rovers in EFL Cup 2-0. Beat Tottenham 4-1. They drew City 4-4. And Newcastle dusted them 4-1. So we did better than them. But they're playing Brighton tomorrow. And then us midweek. I feel like this is a huge game. Pochettino at Chelsea. It's not going great. They're struggling. Who's on the up? Who's on the rise? You dismissed this fixture earlier on the podcast. You said Chelsea not worried about them at all, and then they went and hit 4 by City. You did. You were kind of like they're crap. I feel like this is the king of the crap.
They're in 11th place. We're terrible, and they're like 10 points behind us. Yes. The king of the crap.
This is the king of the crap. Whoever wins this game is gonna. This is like a dog fight, bro. This is a dog
because we both
need it.
Desperate for a result.
Exactly.
Desperate for a result. Desperate for 3 points. They're more desperate than we are, but that makes me even more dangerous, right?
I just saw that 1,000-yard stare from the manager. We need this game. This is a must-win. This is must-win.
They're all must-win. They're all must-win. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because the team's not playing well. We look like we're just a bunch of baby bitches that can't get up for a match. So I don't know, bro. I got nothing left. The manager, who's he gonna pick? Who's he gonna pick? I don't know. Is he gonna stick with that silly midfield? Is he gonna keep benching Varane? I don't know, bro. But I would mix it up. I'd switch it up. I'd like this whole stick with the same guys because we've been getting results against Everton's and Nottingham Forest. Well, it's like we're playing some big teams. We gotta switch it up because
we look like
Liverpool's coming around the corner. We got fucking Bayern next week. It's like we need to switch it up and switch it up. We need to switch it up. Anfield terrifies me. I can't even watch.
We are not
watch it, bro.
I just. I feel like we're making it even harder on ourselves. Like you said, we just the stubbornness from the manager, not changing, not defending, just really just wanting to play this open midfield McTominay style and not taking no for an answer reminds me of what he wouldn't drop Wout Weghorst. he gets into these ruts, and usually what's crazy about Ten Hag is when he changes it, it usually works.
It works. He's like, if
We've seen this before. He gets stubborn and stubborn and stubborn, and then he eventually change. But this season, we haven't seen him change it.
No, we haven't.
And that's the difference, because last year he did make those moves. He did make those changes. But man, the 4-2-3-1 from Chelsea, obviously Pochettino, we were flirting with him.
Thank God.
People feel like he was the made man to come take over Manchester United. Look, they got Cucurella. We were linked to him. Sterling, the City reject. Cole Palmer as well. Conor Gallagher, sir. Jackson leading the line. Thiago Silva. Lots of players you know and have heard of. I feel like we have a better roster than them. But again, we don't look like we're playing better. Look at our injuries. Huge injuries for United. Malacia, yeah, he still plays for this team. Casemiro, Martinez, Johnny Evans, Eriksson, Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho obviously is hanging out in London. And Ahmad there as well. Sir, given those injuries, what is your starting 11 for Manchester United?
We got to mix it up. I'm doing Onana in net. AWB, Varane, Maguire, Shaw. For the love of Christ, just play Varane. He's better than Lindelof. And Shaw should play at left back because he's better than Reguilon or Dalot, who wasn't good at left back today. I'm going to do Kobe, Amrabat, Bruno. I'm going to do Højlund up front, Garnacho on the left, Anthony on the right. I'm benching Rashford because he was showing no effort today. Who you got, sir?
He does need to be benched. I'm doing Onana, AWB. We're going to do a Magoo, Shaw, Dalot because...
Stubborn.
Actually, I do, yeah.
Stubborn
back line, and then you're going to get the same thing. Kobe, McTominay, Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund, and I think you're going to see Anthony. I think that's right. He's going to drop Rashford. Has to drop Rashford, sir. What do the bookies have here?
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar. I need some dollars after watching all this shit football all season. United, it's tight odds. United at home, we are the slight favorites, plus 145. The draw, plus 270, which I can see actually all day a draw. And plus 165 for Chelsea scum. Don't forget who they are, so they're a nobody club backed by.
That's tight for
very
United
tight.
At home,
very
against
tight.
a bad Chelsea team. That's very tight. And so I'm just you still feeling confident? You were very dismissive of Chelsea.
That was a month ago. Fuck off, bro. I do not feel confident. Of course I don't feel confident. I just watched United
at the time
get
you
beat
felt
up
confident
by like a bunch of midfielders I've never even heard of in referee outfits. It's like, no, I'm not confident. Do I look confident?
Okay, well, let's hear the score prediction.
I think United lose.
You predicted that we would dust Chelsea because they're bad.
That was weeks ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago. It was like recent on the pod, sir. And now you're
only as good as your last game.
Full 180. Really? A loss?
Sir, why don't you come up with a conviction? Who
No,
gonna
but
lose? We're gonna win.
It was
we're
like I
gonna
brought
lose.
up Chelsea. I was like, this is gonna be a tough game. And you were like, they're horrible, right? And now
we're
gonna
two
lose.
things can be true at the same. 3, 4, 5 things can be true at the same. They're in 11th place. they're in 11th place,
And
They're
we're
not
gonna
the
lose
Chelsea-
to them.
Yeah, we're gonna lose to them because we're playing even worse.
Okay, what's the score?
2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. I got 1-1. Good old draw. We're due for a draw. Maybe a VAR screws us, something like that. I think it's a draw. I think we should beat them. Again, I look at these players. Somehow, everyone creates a ton of XG against United and doesn't score a lot of goals. So if that streak continues, we're good. Once that goes the other way, we're absolutely screwed because I have a feeling it'll be it'll be a close game. Let's just hope that we get something from it at home. We're dying for it. Let's get into the news. All right, United in the news. Sir Jim Ratcliffe set for imminent start date as Manchester United star-handed lifeline. Ratcliffe is expected to assume control of Manchester United's footballing operations on Monday. Sir Dave Brailsford, the billionaire, his chief lieutenant, is ready to go in and begin to work with him to create a new Manchester United, hopefully one that isn't recognizable from what we see now. I hope you're going to be able to tell a lot from how they come in. And this is going to be a big bit of news for Manchester United because this is a mess. The team's a mess. Has to be assessed top to bottom. This is like the Ratcliffe assessment. I mean, not the Ratcliffe, the Rangnick assessment. It's like bring in the director of football. This is how it goes. Ratcliffe's going to come in, bring in a new CEO, bring in director of football. Those guys sit in the stands. They watch this
Yep.
shitfootball.com
Yep.
for the next 6 months, and they make all the decisions during that time while Eric Ten Hag is still the manager at Manchester United. And most likely it will be like a thank you very much, Eric Ten Hag, for your help in making this mess. Obviously, it's not entirely your fault, but we are here and we're going to just clean the slate and start anew and figure out what to do. I think that ultimately is going to be the way forward. It's just like in the NFL, you get a new GM. That usually means the head coach is like, short of you just doing amazing, I'm going to pick my guy. Like the director of football is going to get his guy. It's just that's how it usually goes because the GM wants his guy in the head coaching seat. Usually they have relationships. They know each other that way. There's good chemistry in between the two, and they're not working against each other. So I think we got to make a lot of big roster decisions, get rid of a lot of dead wood, and I think you're going to see that with Ratcliffe because with Ratcliffe, the Glazers are just looking at the bottom line, just getting away with it. Ratcliffe's going to bring a little sense of urgency to the footballing operations, especially if he's being, it's in the public that he's in charge of it, right? So if all of a sudden he's going to be in charge, he's going to want it to go well, and obviously that's going to translate into making more money as well. So I think all these moves are going to be pertinent to get the club back to the top. I think this is the direction we've always should have gone. I mean, we should have made it. We talk about it all the time. Moyes, Sia, the LVG being like the first time we gave the manager like Sir Alex vibes, $400 million to spend, brings in a bunch of bluffers, don't like the football, doesn't align with what fans want to see, wins something, but just never hits that gear. Same with Mourinho, probably didn't get the money, then Ole got the money, and Ten Hag ended up, I'm surprised Ten Hag got the money, but he got the money. And it's similar to say, okay, we bought a lot of players, a bunch of busts, but we got some young talent coming through that's exciting. And where do we stand? And ultimately, the urgency of selling big names, raising cash, getting younger, rebuild. That's what I want to see at United. Do it completely different. Get rid of the Casemiros, the Varans, even get those big deals off the books and get younger. That's what we need to do. We need to get younger, get hungrier. Look at what Newcastle are doing. It works. Or they got like a whole slot of B team players ready to come in, and they look young and hungry, and like that's what you need.
And that's the only thing really to be hopeful about these days at Manchester United. It's like we're finally getting a new GM. You talk about the American sports analogy. We've never gotten a new brain trust to the top of the pyramid of Manchester United. Like Richard Arnold didn't count. He's the number 2 of Ed Woodward. He's the same guy, just fatter, with probably less experience. So like they're actually bringing in a new guy who's done it before. He's owned other European football clubs. He's got a point to prove, right? He's the richest guy in England, and he's owning the most famous football club in England and probably one of the most famous sports teams in the world. So this is not even a guaranteed. This is
the most famous sports team in the world.
Yes, the most famous sports team in the world.
Number 1.
Yes, the most famous sports team in the world. So all I'm saying is there's not even a guarantee of success, but there's a more likelihood of success than how we've been doing it over the last decade since Fergie's retired, because that's been a mess with no kind of long-term vision. Get in some real heavies at the top, play out the rest of the year like you said, and then fucking gut the squad, because this squad needs to be gut from the fucking top to bottom. You keep like 7 to 8 players, a bunch of which are the academy kids that have broken through, plus a Shaw, plus a Martinez, plus a Hoyland, and a handful of others, and then you restart. And you bring in, like you said, you bring in kids who are not overpaid, who don't think they're like a big fucking deal like Jadon Sancho, which I think honestly more
and
of it.
You make those players and sell them.
More
of it
is like we fucking ruined him by giving him $340,000 a week when he earned maybe a third of that. And you got to bring kids in who are hungry and willing to grind it out and fight for those 50-50 balls and aren't thinking about, going to some show on the weekend or launching a shoe brand or et cetera, et cetera. So we got to start over. And we got to do it like, I hate to say it, Newcastle did it. Like other clubs have done it, even like the Villas, where they started over and they brought in smart people. Arsenal, they brought in smart people. They realized they weren't doing it the right way. So this is not like complicated, but it's not a guaranteed success either. So it's going to take time. But that's the one thing I kind of hark on to that give us some hope.
Look, a glimmer of hope, sir. You got some January transfer rumors. There are rumors that we might be doing deals. But again, without Ratcliffe in seat or the DOF in seat, I just think this is all BS. Give me what you got here. That's just my gut. How is Ratcliffe going to spend cash? He's not there,
Well, he will be there in theory.
Yeah, but then who's making the calls right now?
This is all bullshit. It's like December transfer rumors. in a position we do need, to be fair. I heard your point from last pod. I think it's a very good point. Like, don't buy nobody because let's take a little bit of time for an assessment period. But to be fair, they've been trying to get into this club for the last 6 months. I would imagine they've already begun
but it's just going to be more.
If they've begun our assessment period. So, like, we definitely need a striker. Regardless, we need another striker. Martial's ain't it. He ain't number 2. And like you said, Højlund is a kid. And the fact that we're relying on him to score goals in the league was never a smart move. So this kid, Serhao Girase, I think he's 27, Guinea forward. He's been playing well in the Bundesliga. He's cheap, 17.5 million euros. I mean, cheap alone, it should be enough for Manchester United.
I mean, his value has skyrocketed in the last. I mean, like he's 99th percentile in non-penalty goals. Obviously, is a hot target.
Is that good?
It is. It is good. He plays for Stuttgart. Look, anything like this is good for me. I just don't. I want to make sure. Director of football, then acquire players. Like loans, I'm fine with. Like get another get Wow back. I'm fine with that. Like this season, I don't care. It's like this season is already written on the wall. It's already 7th or 8th.
It's over.
It's already Europa League. It's already it's just that's what it is. Like just look yourself in the mirror. You need to tell yourself the tough news. That's what it is. This season is toast. As far as what's coming down the pipe, like I hate to break it to you. I mean, I'm not trying to be a bad news bear here, but you know, I like this. If this team was going to turn that Galatasaray, that to me, that's the game. They win that game. We got more pep in our step today. It's in the intangibles that matter. It's like how you turn it around. Could we find form? We could. But I would argue we found it against those shit teams, and we're about to get what we were putting off. Like that XG against Everton. It's just not. It's the flood's gonna break. It's all going one way, and it's like I just hate to see it. It feels like Rangnickitis. We got Rangnickitis again. I hate it. These players, they're bluffing. This manager, 1,000-yard stare. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I like you said, Manchester United, I love this club to the day I die. And it's like we're going there in February to watch us play against Fulham. We go every single year, sir. Like season ticket holders. So we give the club everything. We watch every single game, pod after pod after pod after pod. And we watch these games. And these players look like that, and they play like that, and it's like I'd rather be watching Burnley. You know, it's like there's games I need to see. You watch it for entertainment, dude. You don't watch it for just shit football and misery week in, week out. It's at a certain point you need to show some fight. You need to give the crowd something. You got to like, hey, it's like we have the talent. We don't try hard. Explain that to me. Like we have good players. They don't want to play. It's like it's a weird thing. It's like I'd rather have nobodies who want to play. Yeah, that'd be more entertaining.
I don't care about.
I get more for my money
players.
for 90 minutes. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather watch Burnley because like players are going to show up and try and might be frisky. You're not like good, but you're going to give it us all. It's like.
And why is that? Because we reward mediocrity and we give giant contracts to players who don't deserve it, and then we keep players who should have been sold years ago.
There's nothing worse than disinterested spoiled brats. Spoiled brats that are on our team who don't want to play. They're making tons of money, and it's all about. It's like it's so just like devoid of joy. And football should be about joy. That's what Manchester United should bring us all. They don't need to bring us wins every year. Every game. They don't need to bring us trophies every game. We're not Man City. We're not an empty vassal of just like wins and money and fake laundered money. Like it's about what the badge means. It's about attacking and being brave and having resilience, which this team does not. There's no identity. I can't identify with it, dude. And it's like it's killing me at the end of the day. And I just hate where United is. I hate that we've been here like 2 years ago. I hate how often we've been in this. Like the Rangnick phase was to me like it was like nobody cared. The players wanted to leave. Pogba didn't show up to the last game. Like players not even showing up. Like players like literally leaving the country and not even caring about the last game, which actually mattered for Europe. And then we lost it and then got Europa League because West Ham bottled it. I feel like we're in that same like dead man walking, another season wasted, and the hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel is Ratcliffe coming in with these guys and sorting this out. But
that's the only chance we got, because otherwise it's gonna be more of the same.
Yeah, this next article you put in here, as a fan of the pies, you like pies. You don't even eat the ones at Old Trafford. Tell the people why. You only like the Brighton pie.
Well, the pie game in England is very strong. You know, not everything. The coffee's not great, but the pies are very good.
Americano. It's killing me. You know, drip. I get a drip coffee.
It's not a coffee culture. I get it. They drink tea. We drink coffee. And the food and the just general libations and services at Manchester United at the Old Trafford are abysmal. It's like, you ever get a beer there? It's a fucking warm Carling.
horrible.
It's the worst beer you've ever had. It's a warm Carling in a plastic bottle, and you rather just drink nothing at all. Even when you're just trying to keep that buzz going for Michelin Blades, you'd rather like drink a water than a warm Carling. So I've had one. I think I got a pie once or a burger, and it was abysmal. But a bunch of people basically got sick at Old Trafford eating raw chicken, and the roof leaks, and the sewage overflows, and we haven't invested any money in the stadium in 30 years, right? Since the 90s. So what do you expect? The whole thing's a mess. Now
But this is what's coming is like, you go think about Yankee Stadium, right? Yankee Stadium's got the most amazing food. They charge like $30
sushi,
for
bro.
a hamburger.
Right,
I mean,
right.
obviously they're robbing you blind
know.
on the money
But
thing,
at least it
it's
tastes
all
good.
about the food. And you're right. It's like the only thing we go to Old Trafford. I only eat crisps. I literally buy bags of
Smart.
crisps. That's it. That's all you can have. It's like I just get a few bags of crisps, snack in the stands. It's good.
I don't
But
even
that's
get
it.
beers anymore. I don't even get beers anymore because the beer is like, it's not worth the wait in line. I got it. I was like, this is the worst beer I've ever had.
And you can't have it in your seat, you know.
Right,
That's a
which I
different
get.
thing.
That's a whole thing in England, but like,
because people would be throwing
at
the
least when
beer
you go to
everywhere.
QPR, they serve a dark ale out of a bucket. You know, that
They
was better.
ladled
That-
the dark ale out of
That
the
was a
bucket.
better beer than the
In the
piss Carling they
championship,
served.
when you want to buy a beer, they have a bucket of beer. They
Unbelievable.
ladled a dark ale out of a bucket.
Queen's Park
And
Raisins.
we just chugged those things, which was kind of, it felt like a high school football game in the United States.
if they serve beer.
Next one, Malasia's coming back. Sir, are you excited for this one? Is he going to save our season here?
No one's saving nothing. But he's one that we didn't hear about. You know, it was weird. Like, they never mentioned the fact that like he definitely did his knee or did some kind of serious injury. So I'm hoping he's just an option. But yeah, no one's saving us, bro.
Ooh. Fan questions. Here we go at JackBorn86. I expected dog shit. I got dog shit. This pisses me off because even during the Van Gaal days, I never felt like we were losers. Bored, yes, but not losers. Cat 4 Hurricane Sirs landfall is in 2 weeks at Anfield. It is coming. I mean, like, this buzzsaw is like we've been sleepwalking through, like, you know, the chainsaws dangling from the ceiling, and we've missed every single one. And then so we're going to get a direct. I'm telling you, we're due for like
6 or 7.
They're licking, those Scouse bastards are licking their lips. They know that we're a wounded dog and they're going for the kill. I just 2 weeks away. I mean, sorry, if I was there, I'd be betting how many goals. That's it. That's it right now.
My poor bastard of a brother is going to see.
Why is he going?
He's an idiot. He's a masochist like the rest of us who support America.
No, this is at Anfield, but he's going to the one at Old
Yeah,
Trafford.
but we went to the last one, or the one before the last one, where
No,
we got
but-
blown out of the water 5-0. That should have been Ole's last game. So
By then, we might be like caretaker manager, like just defend for your life and not embarrass him. But like Eric Ten Hag is going to Anfield and he's going to attack, and it's going to.
he's a madman. He should just pack up the
But
bus and play
every
counter.
person ever is like, don't do that. Like every other manager doesn't do that at Anfield.
Turns
because
out he's stubborn. Did you know
Turns
that?
out-
Did you know he was stubborn?
Turns out he's stubborn.
He started. He started what's his face that horse, the Dutch horse last year for 20 games straight
Wout
instead of
Weghorst,
playing Facundo Palestri.
I
So
know.
he's stubborn.
At Jamal Motas, sirs, that was bad. No effort. Felt like they had 80% plus possession, and we basically had no midfield or forward presence. AWB was with a horrible defensive error for the goal. Rashford's walking around the pitch like he's prime Messi. Watching United is bad for your health.
That analogy, Rashford like prime Messi, because Messi does just walk around.
I'll
Messi-
tell you.
Messi does just walk around, but he could get away with it because he's Messi.
I'll tell you this. I'm not playing well. Let me get like a really kind of new haircut and show it off on Instagram. Is that's going to help? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get it. What? Don't you think that's a distraction? Don't you think it's probably not going to help you? You know?
I don't know, bro. He's 10 years younger than us.
But he's like,
I don't know that generation at all.
We
It
lost
all-
the
it all
derby.
confuses me.
You lose the derby. You're at the China White Club in Manchester. I like that. That to me is like showing something's going on. Like something's going on.
Lack of standards.
Exactly,
We've accepted
like-
mediocrity and we've rewarded it. I'm not bashing him the whole like.
No, it's not all Rashford,
No,
but
it's not,
something
but
with
it's like-
Rashford and this team right
Who's
now
still
is
here?
off.
Martial's still here. Delo is still here after he celebrated when AC Milan scored against us. Lindelof is still here. It's like McTominay's been starting 10 games in a row, and I know we have injuries in midfield.
Yeah,
but,
they're
like,
mercenaries. They're mercenaries. The
we
bad
just-
mercenaries.
We have rewarded people. The fact that Martial is still starting, like he's still playing, he's on the squad. He should have been gone 3 years ago, sir.
At Gray Internet, quote, if they do not care, why should we? I agree something has to happen. We just don't know it yet. The only good thing is it was only 1-0. At Randy Scrandy, I can say with 100% certainty that Newcastle worked harder in training this week than they had to beat us today. Pathetic, embarrassing, ridiculous. Not once in this match do we look like we gave a shit. Players have given up on Ten Hag. He won't last till New Year's. Calling for the manager's head. Look, I think that statement is a little premature. We haven't seen the capitulation that I fear might be coming around the corner, and we will have to deal with it as it comes. And we're going to leave you with this one at STRSCRM02. I wish I could express how I feel about this team right now, but I'm too disgusted by the lack of effort. And he posted the gif of the shame from Game of Thrones, sir. Dark days for Manchester United. How will we get out of this hole? Will we get out of this hole? I feel like we always say it's darkest before the dawn, and I ultimately feel like it will be, and this season will be it before the light of the Ratcliffe footballing infrastructure that is set up. I hope that this is going to be the end of everything that we've experienced over the last decade of the spending and the splurging and the big names and the flops and the wet noodling after a good season and all of this lack of resilience. I just feel like this is hopefully going to get gone, and then next year we're going to build from the ashes, but it sure feels like we're headed that direction this year.
And we hope so. This is, like you said, bang and bust. It's like we do well. We go second, and then we go sixth, fire the manager, new manager, second or third, and then sixth or seventh, fire the manager. It's like, and you know what? Ratcliffe, he might not be the guy. He might try for a decade plus and get it wrong. But like, change is afoot. Change is coming, and that's the only positive I can think of. Is like
exactly
new people are coming in.
Organizational
They're
change.
smarter than the Glazers. The Glazers are dopes. They hired dopes, and they've not even paid attention to what's going on.
Focus on commercial success, right? It was almost like if you have commercial success, football does not matter. That was the way it was run. Now it's going to say we only care about commercial success, and then we're going to let this English guy who gave us $1 billion worry about football.
Yeah, and he's in charge now.
If you think about it, that might work because they have spent over £1 billion on the team, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you had a guy who got a good director of football and kind of was in a continent, as they say, and could work some things out, maybe we'd be better for it. We shall see, sir. That's it. That's the podcast. You like the American Red Devils. We're for fans, by fans. We're supported 100% by you. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/American Red Devils, American Red Devils store, AmericanRedDevils.com for your fan-generated blog content. Sir, gives our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Los Angeles, California, New York, Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia, Phoenix, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina, Brooklyn, New York, Houston, Texas, and last but not least, Seattle, Washington. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. When they say it's always darkest for the dawn, it's always darkest for it's pitch black. How long is it going to be black for? Feels pretty dark at the moment, but hey. We've got another game. We got a big game on Wednesday. Chelsea scum. Nothing better than beating Chelsea. Can we do it?
Nothing better. Let's go. Take me home.